everyone, this podcast is for English learning. Today, we will talk about the UN and how it works around the world. I'm Emma, and I'm here with John to explore this topic. Let's start. The UN was created to keep peace in the world and help countries solve problems. Can you explain more about how it works, John?
Sure. The UN's main goal is to stop conflicts and prevent wars. It also works to promote human rights, fight poverty, and protect the environment. By bringing countries together, the UN tries to find peaceful solutions to international problems.
In times of crisis, how does the UN assist affected countries?
The UN steps in during wars, natural disasters, or health emergencies. It sends peacekeepers to troubled areas, provides food, medicine, and shelter, and works with local governments to help people recover. They also try to prevent future problems by working on long-term solutions like education and infrastructure. What does the UN General Assembly do, and why is it important? The General Assembly is like the main meeting of all countries in the UN. Every country has a chance to share its views and vote on big issues. It helps countries agree on global policies, such as protecting the environment or improving human rights, which helps build a better world for everyone. How does the UN protect human rights around the world?
The UN has a special group called the Human Rights Council. They make sure countries respect people's rights like freedom of speech, education, and safety. If a country is mistreating its people, the UN can send help, investigate, and put pressure on the government to improve the situation.
Who are the UN peacekeepers, and what is their job?
And peacekeepers are soldiers and police from different countries. They go to areas with conflict to keep people safe, help stop fighting, and make sure peace agreements are followed. They work with local authorities to help rebuild communities after wars.
Can you explain how the UN is working to protect the environment?
The UN leads global efforts to combat climate change through agreements like the Paris Agreement. They bring countries together to reduce pollution, protect natural resources, and develop clean energy solutions. They also help countries adapt to the effects of climate change, like rising sea levels or extreme weather.
What are the Sustainable Development Goals, and why are they important?
The SDGs are 17 goals set by the UN to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity by 2030. They include goals like good health, quality education, and clean water. The UN works with governments and organizations worldwide to achieve these goals and create a better future for everyone. What role does the UN play in helping refugees?
The UN has a special agency called the UNHCR that protects and assists refugees. They help people who are forced to flee their homes due to war or natural disasters by providing shelter, food, and safety. The UN also works to find long-term solutions, like helping refugees return home or settle in new countries.
How does the UN work to improve education around the world?
The UN believes education is a right for everyone. They work with countries to make sure children, especially in poor or conflict-affected areas, have access to schools and learning. UNESCO, a UN agency, helps improve education systems by training teachers, building schools, and creating new learning programs.
How is the UN working to reduce global poverty?
The UN fights poverty by helping countries create better jobs, access health care, and improve education. They also work to ensure people have clean water and food. Through programs like the SDGs, the UN sets targets to lift people out of poverty and provide equal opportunities for all.
What does the UN Security Council do, and why is it so important?
The Security Council is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. It can approve peacekeeping missions, impose sanctions, and authorize military action to stop conflicts. The 5 permanent members, China, France, Russia, the UK, and the USA, have special voting power, and their decisions affect global security. How does the UN handle global health issues, like pandemics?
The UN, through its agency, the World Health Organization, WHO, helps countries respond to health emergencies. They provide guidelines, send experts, and deliver medical supplies. During pandemics, they coordinate international efforts to control the spread of diseases ensuring everyone has access to vaccines and treatments.
How does the UN help protect children and their rights?
UNICEF, the UN Agency for Children, works to ensure all children have access to education, healthcare, and protection. They focus on helping kids in war zones, refugee camps, and poor communities. UNICEF also fights against child labor and promotes children's rights to safety and development.
How does the UN work to promote equality between men and women?
The UN supports gender equality through programs that empower women and girls. They promote equal access to education, healthcare, and jobs. UN Women, a special agency, works to reduce gender-based violence and discrimination, helping create opportunities for women in politics, business, and society.
What role does the UN play when natural disasters strike?
When disasters like earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes happen, the UN provides emergency relief through its agencies, like the World Food Program WFP and UNICEF. They deliver food, water, and shelter to affected areas. The UN also helps rebuild homes, schools, and hospitals after the immediate crisis is over. How does the UN help in the fight against hunger around the world?
The UN's World Food Program WFP helps millions of people who are hungry. They provide food to families in war zones, refugee camps, and areas affected by natural disasters. The UN also works with countries to improve agriculture so communities can grow enough food for the future.
How does the UN try to stop conflicts before they happen?
The UN uses diplomacy to resolve tensions before they escalate into war. They send mediators to negotiate peace between countries or groups in conflict. The UN also supports development projects like education and healthcare in poor areas to reduce the conditions that lead to violence.
What does the UN do to encourage sustainable development?
The UN promotes sustainable development through the SDGs. These goals encourage countries to grow in a way that protects the environment and ensures future generations have access to resources. The UN supports clean energy projects, waste reduction, and conservation of forests and oceans.
How does the UN help preserve the world's cultural heritage?
UNESCO, a UN agency, works to protect important cultural sites, traditions, and languages. They create World Heritage Sites to preserve places of historical or natural significance. UNESCO also promotes respect for different cultures and works to save endangered traditions from disappearing. What does the UN do to help countries cooperate with each other?
The UN brings countries together to solve global problems like climate change, hunger, and peace. Through its many conferences, meetings, and treaties, the UN encourages countries to share ideas, resources, and solutions. This cooperation helps create a more peaceful and prosperous world for everyone.
That was a great discussion on how the UN works to make the world a better place. We hope this podcast helped you understand the UN while improving your English skills. Remember to practice listening, speaking, and learning new words. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful podcasts.